Hey, go to Fox Sports on Facebook, and you will see our booth camera live for the entire inning.
I don't have Facebook, but it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, all the kids, all the crazy kids are using it. Aaron Sanchez is now the pitcher representing the Toronto Blue Jays.
This is a great story for me. Aaron Sanchez is going to have some innings limits, but is he a starter? Is he a closer? Well, what he is an all-star that's got a dynamic arm, great stuff, and in the future, I think a starter for the rest of his career.
Fourth pitcher of the night for the American League, and the AL leads it by 3. Who's that guy managing the National League side? His name is Terry Collins, one of our favorites. And Terry Collins, you having any fun so far?
Oh, this is fun. I can tell you, watching him play is fun.
Here is the next from Sanchez, and that's in for a strike. I thought a nice touch by you to put this kid right in the middle of the lineup, Terry. Hometown Padre Will Myers. Well,
you know, they've all got great numbers. I just thought it would be fun to put a Padre in the lineup. And, you know, they certainly had a great year, and he got a great ovation, which he should.
3 balls and a strike to Will Myers, leading it off. You know, it seems to us in the booth that with the makeup of that American League pitching staff, you guys better get after it here soon, Terry, because you get into those shutdown relievers, and this won't help. Here is Bogarts. 1 out. Is that how you see it?
That's exactly how we see it. We've been talking, but you know, I look down the bench here, and I'm going to put some guys in here who can hit. You know, and so we got a long way to go in this game yet.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. How's your Mets club? It seems like it's been a lot of fits and starts and trying to get on a roll. And any news on Syndergaard? I know he played catch today.
Yeah, he played catch today, and he's feeling a lot better. You know, just you can't explain you can't understand what it's like when you don't get much rest in the offseason. These guys pitched a lot of innings last year, pitched in the World Series, and we're just seeing the ramifications of a lot of work.
You know, one of the cool things about the All-Star game is getting in the same clubhouse with guys that you've seen from a distance. And somebody we were talking about earlier, Corey Seager, the shortstop for the Dodgers. I haven't seen anybody that impressive physically at that position in a long time. How about you?
I haven't either. I mean, I walked up to him the other day. Now, you know, we've played him enough to see him on the other side of the field, but when I walked up to him, I was shocked about how big. Of course, everybody's big to me, but this guy's really big.
Well, you've got Buster Posey at the plate. There's a guy you don't have to worry about.
No, I'll tell you what, he's what a pro he is. I mean, this guy, maybe one of the best catchers in all of baseball, and a great offensive player and a great person.
Yeah, and somebody who told you, hey, if you need me to come back in, I'll hang around and be available for you. This guy's just a gamer.
He is a gamer, and you know, you wouldn't find that from stars. After they come out of the game, they like to sit down and relax. And I told him we can bring a catcher back in. He said, hey, I'll be there for you at the end of the game. So that's the kind of guy he is.
All right, you got Rizzo coming up, and then you're going to start managing this thing, so we'll let you go.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right,
thanks.
Man. Be well. Good guy right there.
Yeah, he really is, and he's dealing with something that was a little unexpected last year, the Mets' late run, and now they're dealing with the ramifications of just how do you get that young pitching staff through not only this year, the second half, and make a run again, if they can, to the playoffs.
1 on 1 out after the walk to Posey, and the batter is Anthony Rizzo, and with one swing of the bat, he has the ability of making this a 1-run game. Talked about how hot he is coming in, and he is fearless at the plate. That's down the right field line, digging it out in the right field corner is Betts, and going first to third is Posey, and there's action for the National League here in the 4th inning.
It's a guy that doesn't mind getting hit. He's on top of the plate, and you wouldn't think there's room between Hosmer and the first base bag, but he hits it so firmly that even the really good fielding Hosmer cannot get over to knock it down.
So Posey, who can move for a catcher, goes first to third, and here is Marcell Ozuna, who got the start. A couple of injuries hit the outfield positions for the National League. Dexter Fowler of the Cubs, he's close to coming back and was heartbroken that his hamstring wasn't ready to be in this game as the 5th starter for the Cubs. And Yoenis Cespedes, who is just taking it easy. Had a little muscle strain and hopes to be fine in the second half of the season, but not pushing it in this All-Star game. So here's Ozuna. What a chance. Slaps at it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you know, we get numbers for everything in this game, and Marcell Ozuna, against all-star participants, has got the most home runs. He's got 4. So he's not afraid of how the great pitching that he's faced, hitting some home runs. And you can see a little bit of nerves maybe for Sanchez in his first game here.
That's up the middle, a base hit, and the National League is down by 2. And the young Marcell Ozuna has driven home Posey, and the tying runs are on. And that's just a good at-bat, good swing by young Marcell Ozuna, and a base hit to give him a smile.
Yeah, great feeling. This ball was hit pretty firmly back up the middle. 96 miles an hour is the capability of what you got to look for off of Sanchez. And now the motor starts working as a young pitcher. When you're in an all-star game, you go, oh man, this is great. Okay, this is great. All right, now I got to get an out, and then I got to get another out. And you sometimes can get a little ahead of yourself and create a moment that you would never create in a regular season game.
Well, they say make a memory. Here's a chance for Carlos Gonzalez, pride of the Rockies, and maybe on the trading block. That breaking ball is in from Sanchez for strike 1. Gonzalez, his first time up, singled. He'd love one here. Or something bigger. That's outside. A ball and a strike.
It's amazing the emotions when you get here and prepare for, you know, it's going to be 1 inning. And you hope to have your emotions in check and be as calm as you can. And then until you experience it, and he has, he'll make the adjustments next time he gets to this place, which he will.
Well, you think about the career of Carlos Gonzalez. He's hit 88 home runs to tie a game or give the Rockies the lead, which is the most in the National League since 2010. So when the pressure's on, this guy usually rises to it or above it. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Oh, he's got one of the prettiest swings down. That ball was up. He fought it off. Watching the home run competition, you can tell where a guy likes it. And he's got a pretty swing, and this ball just gets above his hands a little bit, but he certainly will crush pitches that are even too low to go after for most hitters.
Here is a 2-2. Just got a piece, and a good job by Gonzalez to do that. Every 4 years, the best baseball players in the world compete for country, pride, and glory. The World Baseball Classic returns March 2017 on MLB Network. For more information, visit worldbaseballclassic.com.
See right there, just casting the breaking ball. That was what I said early in the game, the touch pitches. Those are going to be the ones you really have, and you would seem like, well, you've thrown them all year. What's the difference? You're just a little bit more tightly wound, and you're a little bit more adrenaline that it can affect that secondary pitch.
3-2 pitch is a bullet hit to Altuve. No double play as Ozuna did well to get back. Can't hit it any harder. Good play by Jose Altuve.
This is unbelievable. You see it right at the cusp of the shadow. Has the ability to turn and look and see if he can get the double play. That ball, we've got all kinds of metrics to determine how far and how hard a ball is hit. This one had to be over 100 miles an hour.
Batter now is the number 9 man, Addison Russell. He's got an opportunity to me, John, to really, talking about Addison Russell, flourish, get his feet underneath him in the big leagues. He's a young guy. He's in his early 20s. With all the focus on Rizzo and Chris Bryant and everything else going on there, he can get his feet underneath him. That force out ends the inning, and Addison Russell is now 0 for 2 in this game. But a run put up by the NL, driven in by Marcell Ozuna. It's a 4-2 game after 3.5.
Our PE teacher, he's a basketball coach.
He's a first-year teacher, so he's not going to ask me for anything. Bless his heart, you know. You know, our PE equipment was falling apart. When Target gave us the money, we went straight to Target. There was 3 shopping carts full of basketballs.
I think PE can be one of those things that helps kids get the confidence to be healthy and stay fit.
Wait, no, my computer! Oh, wait!
What are we running after?
Like stupid old computer.
Well, if it's so old, why are you chasing it? Is it slow? Weigh a ton?
Yeah.
Well, you know.
I know. Today's PCs are faster and lighter. I know.
So why are we still running?
I don't know.
You know about it. Now do something about it. Upgrade to a new PC.
Oh, Charlie horse, call for help, call for help.
Help.
Your kids' favorite shows are coming for your data. But Verizon's got your back. Introducing the new Verizon plan. Now get 30% more data, no surprise overages, and keep the data you don't use, all on America's best network. Why settle when you can have everything? Switch to Verizon now.
Go!
6 months ago, I was a massage therapist at Miami Beach. And now, I'm an international arms dealer. With my friend from junior high.
Pretty sick, huh? How did 2 young men land a $300 million Pentagon contract? You guys ever been Albanian?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Albanian.
War Dogs, rated R.
In banking and baseball, you have to stay alert. With my Bank of America mobile banking app, I can select alerts that notify me when unusual activity is detected on my credit and debit cards. I used to play when I was younger. I love the outfield. All that green grass. Until the championship and the inside the park home run. Sure could have used an alert then. I missed lunch that day.
The 2016 MLB All-Star Game on Fox is presented by MasterCard. The Budweiser game summary. Chris Bryant went deep in the first inning. Youngest Cub to homer in an All-Star game since 1936. Hosmer, what a night he's already had. 2 for 2. Solo shot, RBI single, and Salvador Perez. A 2-run blast. That's the difference in the game right now. He went deep in the second. Changes here for the National League. In the hometowner, Pomerantz is on the mound, the left-hander. He's bounced between starting rotation and bullpen in his career as he's bounced around. Salvador Perez will lead it off. Corey Seager is in at short. And the catcher is Wilson Ramos. Here's Pomerantz. And his first to Perez is outside, ball 1.
I'm always intrigued with these kind of stories. If I told this young man, hey, you're going to make the All-Star team going into spring training, he'd have probably looked at me and said, what? I'm trying to fight for a starting job because I'm in the bullpen. At least that's the thought for the San Diego Padres. He's a guy that commands fastball, doesn't overwhelm you with velocity, mix and matches his curveball with changeup, and an abbreviated windup. Looks like he's out of the stretch.
That breaking ball's fouled by Perez. The count 2-1. His ERA is 2.47, so he's under 2.5, and that's 4th best in baseball. Last Padre to end the season in the top 5 is Jake Peavy. That's a fair ball. Bryant has time. 1 out. Well, Perez fouled a ball off his leg and then hung in there and pounded a home run, and we'll give you StatCast numbers.
That's unbelievable. Look at the exit velocity, and then you look at the launch angle with where he hit it. He may have hit his leg harder than that, but nonetheless a rewarded 2-run homer.
Our Amazon StatCast. That's Anthony's to Jackie Bradley Jr. Now we'll get into that part, John, where changes are going to be coming fast and furious as we play the last 5 innings of this ball game after this 4th. good swing.
Well, that breaking ball you just saw prior to that pitch, that's what makes Pomeranz so tough. His ability to throw that pitch, and then his fastball looks a little bit faster. It's got an extra foot to it to the hitter after seeing the slow breaking ball.
Here's an 0-2. Another good swing by Bradley. Lefty on lefty. Pomeranz, he's out there. I mean, if you're a team that's looking for not just a starter, Pomeranz has proven he can pitch out of a bullpen. The market for pitching is pretty thin. I mean, this is somebody that a club could go get. Here's a base hit left field. What a good piece of hitting by Bradley. Just served it through that hole, and he's on with 1 out in the 4th.
Yeah, fighting with 2 strikes. Bradley a couple years ago been sent down, didn't know the future for this young outfielder, and now he's in the All-Star game. Had a great long hitting streak and certainly found his stroke and his place with the Boston Red Sox. Once crowded outfield, they're now pretty confident that guy playing center field every day.
So 1 on 1 out, back to the top of the order, and Jose Altuve, who is just unbelievable. Altuve is 5'6". That's how they list him. It's his 4th All-Star game. He's only 26. Venezuelan infielder is #1 in baseball the last 2.5 seasons in average hits, doubles. He flips it out into right center field, and this ball is handled by Ozuna. 2 out.
I got a sneaky suspicion that in the near future, you're going to see him in a home run hitting competition.
Well, you know, you look at a guy and you say, okay, he's 5'6", so he's not tall, obviously. He ran out with that kid during the, the pregame introduction of the lineups. They were about the same size, but he's got big shoulders, and he is strong.
He really is. Quick bat, and he hasn't seen a pitch he doesn't like, that's for sure.
Well, here's Strong. Trout is 1 for 2, and he bats with 2 out. Sitting on 18 home runs for an Angels club that is struggling. 15 under 500 and 16.5 out in the West behind the Texas Rangers as they've taken command. Good job by Bryant to get the high hop. And the force out ends the inning. That sends us into the 5th in this All-Star game in San Diego. 4-2 AL.
This is the Ford F-150, the only pickup with a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body. Of all the full-size half-ton pickups, it's got the most towing, the best payload, and the highest gas mileage, plus no body rust. And guess what? This is the safest F-150 ever built. The only pickup to pull the government's 5-star safety rating and earn an IIHS top safety pick. This is the F-150, and Ford F-Series is the undisputed truck leader for 39 straight years.
Get up, get on up, get up, get on up.
My dad joined Starfleet because he believed in it. I joined on a dare. Oh my God.
Our captain will come for us. Mercy will be the last thing on his mind.
I'm counting on it.
Star Trek Beyond, rated PG-13.
I asked my dentist if an electric toothbrush was going to clean better than a manual. He said sure, but don't get just anyone. Get one inspired by dentists with a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head cups your teeth to break up plaque and rotates to sweep it away. And Oral-B delivers a clinically proven superior clean versus Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels super clean.
Oral-B. Know you're getting a superior clean.
I'm never going back to a manual brush.
What are you doing?
Sarah, I love you.
No, my brother. Keep going.
Sarah, will you marry?
What do you want, Todd?
Keep it going!
If you sit on your phone, you butt dial people. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
I know we just met like 2 months ago.
The MLB All-Star Game is presented by MasterCard and sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. And by HP. Luxury has made its way to business. HP reinvents obsession. All right, this fall, it's the story of the first woman to play Major League Baseball, Kylie Bunbury, and Mark-Paul Gosselaar star in Pitch. And the category of full disclosure, John and I are in the show, and I think you've seen it. I got sent the pilot. Have you seen it?
I haven't yet.
It's really good. I'm not talking about us. I mean the writing and the acting, and I can't wait for that to debut.
I'll be honest, I was a little concerned that what I did might lead to a future maybe in acting, but probably not. Well, you saw it.
No, it was almost believable. Here's Daniel Murphy against the new left-hander as Quintana. Jose Quintana from the White Sox takes over. How about Daniel Murphy?
Unbelievable. It's got to be a little bittersweet for Terry Collins as he's watching what once was his property now play for the rival Washington Nationals.
He's jammed here. Good pitch by Quintana. Dropped and out. Well, they may want to look at that again. Daniel Murphy's staying there. I think it looked like with a naked eye from up here, he was safe. Here's the bobble by Altuve. Murphy's not going back to the dugout. And we may have a replay. Let's see. He is safe. And they're going to go in and check that out. First base umpire, John, is Kerwin Danley.
Yeah, Altuve just got in between, really, between the cut and the grass. And the ball just pops off his glove. But Daniel Murphy, when you think about what he's done against the Mets, this is unbelievable. We're talking about last year carrying the Mets, then signing with the Nationals, coming back. Those numbers just don't make sense when you think about what he's been able to do for the Nationals and what he did for the Mets a year ago.
They've reviewed it. Safe is the call, and Murphy knew it, so he never moved. And the leadoff man is on what will be an error, he would think, on Altuve on that ball to his left. The drop, and it cost him.
Yeah, I thought when Murphy jumped for the bag, that might have cost him because you see the heel get down before the toe, sometimes just running hard through the bag.
Here is the terrific Paul Goldschmidt. It is an error on Altuve, who's made only 3 all year with Houston. And the Astros are making noise in the AL West and in that AL wildcard picture for sure. They're getting hot. Goldschmidt.
This guy's a stud. He just goes about his business every day. Puts up MVP type numbers at first base.
He's a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. He can run for a big guy. He's patient. He's been second in the MVP voting 2 times. And he gets under this one. Flips it into right. Easy for Betts. 1 on, 1 out.
For the White Sox and Quintana, he's been a tough luck pitcher. Not a lot of runs have been scored for this young man, and he's had a real good year, all-star worthy. Commands the ball to his arm side. When I say arm side, that's away to a right-hander. And he comes right after him with a fastball, changeup, and breaking ball.
If you haven't seen the guy that's digging in at the plate, not only look at those numbers, is he obviously a tremendous offensive player. But Kenny Rosenthal and his notes to us is Arenado grounds left side. Machado, a good play for the out. 2 down. And a guy who's been called this generation's Brooks Robinson with the way he plays third base gets to see just how athletic that big third baseman is for the Orioles.
Unbelievable. He started at shortstop, moved him over to third, hasn't missed a beat. But Nolan Arenado, everyone talks about playing in Colorado. He's hit just as many home runs on the road that he has at home, so this guy can hit him anywhere. It's not just his home ballpark that he benefits from.
Well, here is Will Myers. Former minor league player of the year with the Kansas City Royals and was traded to Tampa Bay and has since been traded to the San Diego Padres.
Yeah. It's like a flame temper. That's why it looks like
0 for 2 tonight. That is into right center field. Arenado will dig for third. Into second is Myers. A nice moment for Will Myers, the San Diego Padre, with a 2-out double.
Well, this is the second one of them for the National League with 2 outs. The outfielders are able to cut it off. That prevents a run from scoring, but you see no batting gloves, no problem. Strong extension. This guy hopefully wants to be part of the rebuilding process here in San Diego. He would love to be part of taking San Diego back to prominence.
And now the first at bat for Wilson Ramos, who is really an incredible story. Ramos gets the opportunity here. The 28-year-old just having a breakout year. He's played over 88 games in a season, only twice in his career. Injuries have been a problem. He hit .229 last year. This guy's hitting .330 and he takes a strike. And the incredible story part is in the fall of 2011, he was kidnapped in his home country of Venezuela. Now representing the first place Nationals in an all-star game, and he is in the hole in a hurry, 0-2.
Great breaking ball right there after painting inside with the fastball. So now he's got Ramos on the defensive. There's a hole to right side if he happens to be able to swing late or serve on that way, and that will tie the game up if the Nationals are so lucky, Ramos, to get a base hit.
The 0-2. 3-pitch strikeout, and Ramos is gone. And with that, it's a 4-2 game halfway through it. What a night it's been already. The 2016 MLB All-Star Game on Fox is presented by MasterCard.
"32 kills. You volunteered because you are Jason Bourne.
I volunteered because I thought our enemies killed my father. I volunteered because of a lie.
It's time to come out, Jason.
Not for you. It all ends tonight. Rated PG-13.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. The 400 horsepower Q50 from Infinity.
Something not big at all. The price of our plans, they're small, small, small. And small, small, small is the way it stays. Fees and taxes are included. Hooray! You can text and like and swipe and stream. It's a great big network of your great big dreams. It's a no-obvious call. It's the great big network sending love to us all.
Find your Diet Pepsi emoji today.
all, some partners can be lethal. Damon Wayans and Clayne Crawford proved that. They star in Fox's new action comedy series, Lethal Weapon. The show has it all, and you won't want to miss it, premiering this September. Glad to have them in the Fox family. And as we move into the bottom of the fifth inning, a number of changes. Julio Teheran slings it home at 90, and it's fouled back and out of play by Machado. Here are the changes. Duvall in left, Herrera now in center, Jay Bruce in right, Arenado at third. We've seen Seager already, Daniel Murphy at second, Paul Goldschmidt and Teheran on the mound with Ramos catching, and that fooled Machado strike two.
Well, for Julio Teheran, of course, the Braves are trying to get back, right? They're trying to build their club and their farm system. It's arms like this that'll help them as soon as they get some offense.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can say, well, Teheran's on the trading block if somebody wants to go get him. But if you want to, as a young guy, you want to compete in the near future, they open a new ballpark next year, then you need a guy like Teheran.
Yeah, they'd have to blow you away with the package that you would get in return.
Reaching for it, flipping at it is Machado, and this ball will die on the track. Caught by Duvall. Machado 0 for 3. We gave you our Dell trivia question. Who drove in Tony Gwynn to win the '94 All-Star game in Pittsburgh? Moises Alou, 10th inning double off. Jason Beret scored Tony. Would let off with a single. The American League had won 6 previous All-Star games. Fred McGriff hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th off Lee Smith to tie the game. Tony Gwynn, as we mentioned, a 15-time All-Star, and he wore out that spot that he called the 6.5 hole between the shortstop position and the third base position.
Yeah, and he wore me out, and Glavine, and Maddox, and I can't think about San Diego without Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn is the class. He left us too soon. He's the greatest hitter I've ever seen. And he's the guy that you go to when you think about San Diego, the smile and certainly the history of this town embracing him and what the commissioner was able to do. What an incredible honor. But I think about the three of us playing, you know, we played against Tony forever. We were in the West forever. We struck him out 3 times.
No way.
3 collectively. He only struck out 29 times on average for 162 games. That's a bad week for some guys in the game.
Unbelievable. 8-time batting champ. Here's a 1-2. Encarnacion's first at bat. That is back and caught by Ramos. 2 out. Hear those numbers against that great trio of you, Maddox, and Glavine.
That is not a small sample size. That's ownage. That's him sending me a limousine every time I was ready to pitch, making sure I get here. And every time I saw him in the offseason, I always were reminded of that smile and told him, come on, cut us a break. What a hitter, what a player, and what an ambassador for this city and for the game of baseball.
Mr. Padre is a tremendous young talent in the game. Francisco Lindor stands in for the first place Cleveland Indians. That is floated in high for ball 1. There are many organizations that if Lindor was a free agent, they'd cut their shortstop and say come aboard, because there's no telling how good he's going to be. That's out of play.
Yeah, he is dynamic is the best way I can describe it. He can do it all, switch hitter with power, but his defensive skills are crazy. In this day and age where we're seeing the athleticism of players and, yes, shifts, this guy can take care of the whole left side of the infield by himself.
He was number 2 in the voting to Carlos Correa last year in the American League for Rookie of the Year. Hit .313, but it's a note that Ken Rosenthal gives us about Lindor, that may be the most impressive in his young career. From Puerto Rico, as he pops it up, this should end the inning, but this is a kid who is one of 2 players, Chris Archer the other, who voluntarily visits reviving baseball and inner city programs, not just in his home city, but on the road. This kid's got it all. Good inning by Teheran. Into the 6th we go. 4-2 American League.
We are friends forever, stick together through the life.
When I was 4, I gave Caroline my bone marrow to save her life, and now she's 13 years in remission. In the fight against cancer, we all have reasons to stand up for someone. This summer, dine out using your MasterCard, and you can help support Stand Up to Cancer. One precious cent at a time, up to $4 million.
I had cancer when I was 16 before my father got cancer, so it was like looking into a mirror. I stand up for my dad.
We're both happy and healthy, really grateful for everything that's happened to us. She's my miracle.
Because standing up for friends and family is priceless.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight as we celebrate the 2016 MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, we stand united in the fight against cancer with our partner Stand Up to Cancer. Please join Major League Baseball, MasterCard, Fox, and the entire baseball family in standing up to cancer, and visit standuptocancer.org to find out how you can help today. And now, to pay tribute to those affected by this terrible disease, we welcome back Rachel Platten to sing her hit, Fight Song.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream on loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Started right now, I'll be strong. And I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fire left in me. Come on, San Diego, sing this with me. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Started right now, I'll be strong. And I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fire left in me. Yeah, I still got a lot of fire left in me.
Everyone has a reason to stand up to cancer. And this summer, get together for a priceless cause with MasterCard to help fight cancer. Now, spend $10 or more with your MasterCard when you dine out, and MasterCard will donate up to $4 million, one precious cent at a time. Promotion ends on August 19th, or at that $4 million goal, visit priceless.com/standup to learn more and share your stories using the hashtag #ReasonsToStandUp.
When I was 4, I gave Caroline my bone marrow to save her life, and now she's 13 years in remission.
In the fight against cancer, we all have reasons to stand up for someone. This summer, dine out using your MasterCard, and you can help support Stand Up to Cancer. One precious cent at a time, up to $4 million.
I had cancer when I was 16 before my father got cancer, so it was like looking into a mirror. I stand up for my dad.
We're both happy and healthy, really grateful for everything that's happened to us. She's my miracle.
Because standing up for friends and family is priceless.
If palm trees could talk, I bet they would speak Spanish. Man, I wish I spoke Spanish.
They know how to handle the big moments. 2 Royals going deep in this game for the American League. First, it was Eric Hosmer, then it was Salvador Perez.
Well, here they come. It's the relievers that Ned Yost has. They all have electric fastballs. They can shut you down.
First up is Jay Bruce, and Herrera, who is filling in for the injured Wade Davis, the tremendous closer on the DL for the Kansas City Royals, and part of that fantastic end of the game combination for Ned Yost is on here in the 6th inning. Jay Bruce, power hitting outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds, waits for an 0-2 and strikes out on 3 pitches. Well, one of the Royals that hit the home run, as we mentioned, Eric Hosmer, and we experienced 360-degree replay from Intel.
And it's giving you a look from all angles, and they all look good if you're Eric Hosmer. Enjoying a great all-star game, as is his team and his manager and the league so far with a 4-2 lead.
Young kid Odubel Herrera from the Philadelphia Phillies stands in. He can run. He's got some pop. He was a Rule 5 player that stuck on the roster last year, and the Phillies could afford that as they're rebuilding. And he takes a pitch up and away for ball 1. You saw the numbers: hitting .294, 10 homers, 33 RBIs, the 12 steals. Trying to get on here in the 6th inning in a 2-run game. Meanwhile, an interesting note for the 5th inning. 2 Colombian-born pitchers went at it. Quintana and Tehran. Prior to this year, there had only been 1 Colombian-born player ever been in an all-star game, and that was Edgar Renteria. So proud moment for that country as Herrera slashes at it, flies it to center, and coming to get it is Ian Desmond for out number 2. Here are the defensive substitutions now. All yellow. Trumbo's in left. Desmond's in center, and Beltran from the Yankees in right. Donaldson, Lindor, Cano, Hosmer the only holdover, with Wieters catching Herrera on the mound.
Well, our game has got so many talented players from so many countries internationally. They represent themselves at every position. And as dynamic as the game is growing, and as we see the World Games that will be played, Baseball Classic, the sport has a lot of young, talented players groomed to be stars.
Here is Duvall out in front of the plate. Wieters gets to it, and that will do it for a quick and easy inning for Herrera as the bullpen takes over for the Royals. Those late inning relievers, 4-2 game.
This is the Dell Inspiron 2-in-1. It has 4 versatile modes and a 6th-gen Intel Core processor for getting more done. Like rocking marine biology term papers or making the baddest beats on campus. Inspired by you, multitasking double major. We love your work.
Nice new glasses?
They are. Do I look smarter?
Yeah, a little. You're making money now. Are you investing?
Well, I've been doing some research.
Let me introduce you to our broker.
How much does he charge?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you get your fees back if you're not happy?
Wow, you're laughing.
That's not the way the world works.
Well, the world's changing.
Are you asking enough questions about the way your wealth is managed? Wealth management at Charles Schwab.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety pick, mid-size car, and SUV.
Most dependable means a lot to me.
The green car, because I like fuel efficiency.
What if there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. It's fierce.
How would you sum this car up in one word?
Incredible, amazing. I can't use one word.
You can only be great if you're full of goodness.
Time is the most valuable thing there is. People try to beat time, but time always wins. Our greatest fear is running out of time.
There's a bomb in the salsa can. We gotta get out of here. My phone's still charging.
So if time is the most valuable thing there is, why would you waste more than you have to charging your phone? The Galaxy S7 Edge with fast wireless charging and our longest lasting battery.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Well, let's get it. Keep doing your thing, all right? Don't stop the train. Keep that line moving, right?
How about fond farewells? Peyton Manning, a Super Bowl champion, on his way out. Kobe Bryant scored 60 in his final game with the Lakers. David Ortiz's career ends as a 40-year-old. Tonight in this game, Ortiz was 0 for 1 with a walk. That spot scored a run as Encarnacion took over. And after starting in his first All-Star game in 2004 when he hit a home run, and this his 10th, he is hoping for more of the same, John, in the second half, not just from himself, but from the Boston Red Sox and that good lineup. Here's Scherzer taking over, and first up is Hosmer, is 2 for 2.
Well, if you like adrenaline, arms, legs, 2 different eye colors, you're going to love Mr. Scherzer. He gets after it, and he is not holding back.
Hosmer's looking for his 3rd hit of the night. We're about to hear from David Ortiz, who is standing by with our own Ken Rosenthal.
By the way, that was awesome, what we just watched. Just seeing the younger generation paying respects to a guy who is and fits what a superstar is.
Hosmer gets the bat on the ball. I personally don't think I've ever seen David Ortiz in better shape.
No, it has been, you know, as a former player who you would love, every athlete wants to go out on the perfect way, right? They want that dream season. He's having it. And what makes it more special is he knows this is the right call. We see it in the sports where, you know, he's going to get his farewell tour, but this guy has given so much to the game and has been through the greatest moments and come up so clutch. I just can't even imagine what that would feel like to end the way he is so far in his last year.
Top first baseman in baseball with regard to hits. with 100 on the season is Hosmer, and he's put together good at-bats. He's 2 for 2, but he's been in a battle every time, and he's won the first 2 battles.
Well, unfortunately for the rest of pitchers in baseball, that's why they saw the Kansas City Royals do what they did last year. Big attack swings early, then fight, put the ball in play. And that's how they could pull off some of those rallies that they did. They put pressure on the other teams. They bought into it, but they are not cheated early. They swing for the fences early and then go into attack defensive mode with 2 strikes.
Scherzer's the top strikeout guy in baseball this year on the mound. He gets Hosmer, who's retired for the first time tonight, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. David, the entire American League team came out onto the field when you came out of the game to greet you. What did that moment mean to you?
A lot, man. You know, something that I would never forget. It's something that, you know, you see all you boys. I mean, pretty much everybody in this dugout have been related to one way or the other. You know, it's always that communication at some point. Because, you know, as a veteran player, you always have a tendency to give the younger player advice and stuff like that. And in my case, I don't care if you're a pitcher, a position player. You know, if I can tell you something to help you out, I will.
Now, a number of your teammates here do not believe you are retiring. You're having a great year. Why are you retiring?
They will after the season. Look at this guy. He just, you know, things are getting harder. You know, this is a beautiful game that demand a lot of dedication and work. You know, and as you get older, you know, it's get a little difficult to get there. So, you know, your body start, you know, hurting and going in a different direction, and that's my situation right now.
David, thanks very much. Joe, back to you.
All right, thank you. It's been a joy to watch David Ortiz, especially during the month of October. He knows how to get it done when it matters the most. As we said before, just beloved as Carlos Beltran flies to center. Beltran is 6 runs away and 1 RBI away from joining Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, and Alex Rodriguez as the only players with 1,500 or more runs scored, 2,500 plus hits, 400 home runs, 1,500 RBIs, and 300 plus stolen bases. That's the career of Carlos Beltran.
He's racking them up, and I talked to him earlier. I said, what's the plan? He said, man, I would like to play 1 more year. If all goes well, he'll be adding to those numbers that you just spoke of.
Here is Matt Wieters, who's gone through a Tommy John procedure. 2-time Gold Glove Award-winning catcher with the Orioles. Played 101 games between 2014 and 15 in the former 5th overall pick in 2007. Is calling pitches for the top team in the AL East. 2-1 from Scherzer, and you can hear, it's like we're at Wimbledon. You can hear him grunting with every pitch. He's giving it everything he's got.
He sure has. This guy is transformed himself over in the National League. Coming from the Tigers. Hadn't pitched really a complete game in the American League, and now he has been dominating in the National League, throwing a couple no-hitters. Loves what he does. A perfect blend for a team with expectations through the roof for the Nationals to have him on their roster.
Here, have some of this at 98. And a perfect inning for Max Scherzer. On a fun night here in San Diego. Big night for David Ortiz. This fall, Fox has a great new series called Pitch, starring Kylie Bunbury and Mark Paul Gosselaar. Here's a first look.
The San Diego Padres have called up Jenny Baker. It marks a day that many doubted would ever come.
43?
1 up from Jackie. You'll remember where you were when you saw it.
The entire world will be watching it.
You ready for this? I've been ready my whole life.
You do this for you, or you don't do it at all.
Give me the ball.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 6 on FS1.
5 nights a week, things are gonna get messy. I wasn't finished! And that's just just how we like it.
Two Broke Girls, tonight at 11:30 on Fox 18.
Your iPhone success deserves a strong signal, right? Well, U.S. Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't, so you can track your route, stream your music, and post from where your bike is happiest. Switch to U.S. Cellular now and get 50% off iPhone 6S with a strong signal in the middle of anywhere.
Wow, they're awesome. This is my dream car.
Yeah, I like this. Been waiting to get this.
Real people have a lot to say about the award-winning vehicles at the Chevy Summer Sell Down.
Wow. The design's great.
I love it.
#1 in my book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
If you could get 20% cash back on this vehicle, what would you do?
I think I'm going to drive it through that wall and take it.
Find your tag and get cash back for 20% of the MSRP on select 2016 Chevy vehicles in stock. That's $6,900 cash back on this Chevy Equinox. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Right now at Subway restaurants, you can get a delicious footlong sub made fresh right in front of you with any veggies you want on freshly baked bread for only $6. The featured footlong for this month is the Turkey Italiano Melt. Subway, fresh is what we do.
Find better rest and unbelievable mattress savings at Ashley Home Store. Save up to $650 on Sealy Posturepedic Queen sets now starting at $799. Get luxury sleep from Stearns & Foster at an incredible monthly price with 5 years no interest at Ashley Home Store.
What should you do if you have slow Wi-Fi?
Mom, come on.
No, stop using Netflix. Give up gaming.
So slow.
Buy the insurance plan. Do all your work
Night, Steve.
at the office. Lock up your Wi-Fi password and kick the kids out. Or just call Mediacom. Mediacom has faster internet and the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. Get more speed today, starting as low as $24.95 a month when bundled. Call 800-SIMPLIFY.
Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's new daily talk show, Speak for Yourself. Weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Glad to have them in the Fox family. Here are the changes. Miguel Cabrera takes over at first base. Dylan Betances is now on the mound. The Yankee at the plate is Corey Seager, the shortstop for the Dodgers. Count is 0-2 in a blink. The shortstop for the Dodgers, alerted by Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, and Aaron Charlton from Stats Inc. There is an 0-2 pitch outside that I was talking about. Tony Gwynn, I talked about the 6.5 hole. It was the 5.5 hole that Tony Gwynn used to talk about, and that is to the right of the shortstop, to the left of the third baseman. But I kind of got the feeling that if Gwynn wanted to do the 3.5 hole to the right side, he could have done that.
Seriously, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. He was going to hit anything and find any way to get a hit. So whatever hole you want to talk about, he found it. He was the master.
And in case you don't know what we're talking about with regard to the numbers, if you're scoring, first base is 3, second base is 4, shortstop 6, third base is 5. Seager strikes out as Betances just blows him away, and this young stud shortstop for the Dodgers, first out in the 7th.
Well, I think Betances is going to get better and better, believe it or not, if he can command that fastball. That fastball sometimes becomes a show pitch because his slider and breaking ball's so good, he relies on it. And obviously the Yankees have the 7-8-9 wipeout machine in their bullpen. But you know, you ever seen a small lab and see their paws and determine how big they're going to be?
Yes.
That's Corey Seager when we got a chance to meet him.
I'll say. Here's Murphy with a base hit that he hooks into right. And the top guy with regard to batting average and with regard to I told you so's in baseball.
Take that ball. That was a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. Good hit. Bring it, Murphy.
Gets a base hit into it.
Man, I'm telling you, he has unlocked something. He has made a mechanical adjustment, getting closer to the plate, and he has not turned back. This has been a long run with an off season, by the way, in between.
Batter is Paul Goldschmidt. The guy who he will credit, Kevin Long, is here in the ballpark. So a little tune-up if Daniel Murphy wants it. I don't think that he needs it, but Kevin Long is a hitting coach, long time with the Yankees, now for Terry Collins and the Mets. Murphy is on. Goldschmidt, that ball gets away as Wieters can't control it, and down to second is Murphy. with one out, and we'll see. It's a wild pitch.
I'm just telling you, having been through these, the adrenaline a guy goes through, it is just about, I can't put a percentage on it, but it's nowhere close to a regular season game. And you can see Betances is showcasing his fastball, his slider, and at some point, a little overexertion.
So Murphy now at second for a guy who knows how to drive in runs. Late swing by Goldschmidt, strike 2. Paul is #1 in the National League in RBIs with 444 since the start of 2012. A tremendous talent. Tying run at the plate. Goldschmidt goes up to get it and pops it up. Desmond, the former shortstop, now in the outfield for the Rangers, has it. 2 out. Follow live baseball with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
This is the matchup I'm excited to see. One of the better hitters in our game. Power against power on the mound.
Nolan Arenado. 99 from Betances, upstairs, ball 1.
Man, I'm just telling you. 6'8", 6'9" coming out of the pen for Yankees. They get the lead late. It's over.
And we don't. Arenado missed that ball by a foot. We're going to see Andrew Miller next. You can see Arenado going, wow. He wasn't close to that pitch, and then we'll see Zach Britton to the Orioles to close it.
Well, I'm not thinking he's setting him up as Arenado, but that pitch took a left turn. You got to respect the fastball.
100, and that is popping the glove of Wieters all over this ballpark.
Well, this guy's usage rate with the Yankees is going to be pretty important in the second half. You won't see too many outings like this. Joe Girardi would probably say, young man, I need you multiple times.
Popped up, foul ball, out of play. 2-2.
The Yankees are such an interesting topic moving forward in the second half. What kind of team are they? Are they in the mix? They're 500 to finish the first half. But you're so teased by the fact that if you could score some runs and get the lead late, they're a playoff team. But the question is, can they do that consistent enough?
All they need is a 6-inning lead, and they go Betances, then Andrew Miller, and then Aroldis Chapman. Arenado strikes out, and that was dazzling by Dellin Betances, a New Yorker through and through. Born in Washington Heights, grew up in the Lower East Side, went to high school in Brooklyn, and representing the Yankees. Wow. It will give you our Fox Sports Salutes game summary, sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Salvador Perez, a 2-run shot, and the 3rd reigning World Series MVP to hit a home run in the All-Star game, joining Schmidt and Jeter. Eric Hosmer, 3rd Royal with multiple hits and RBIs in an All-Star game, joining Bo Jackson and the great George Brett. And now for the introduction of God Bless America, let's join public address announcer Alex Miniak.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you stand. Kindly remove your caps and face the American flag. Please join us in honoring our country, the brave men and women of our armed forces, and all our veterans of service, as we welcome U.S. Navy Information Systems Technician First Class Yerrick Connor, who will lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, why wherefore God bless America.
gone. That's just bad security. You know.
I know. The new PCs are so secure you can use your face as your password.
And yet here you are in a truck full of money with no money.
You know about it. Now do something about it. Upgrade to a new PC.
You've secured the entire block, but not your PC.
I stand alone in my day and age. The storm is coming, it's about to rage. I'm telling you, you can't stop.
Not just anyone can pitch like All-Star Jacob deGrom, but anyone could save money with Geico. Geico. See how much you could save.
This is the Ford F-150, the only pickup with a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body. Of all the full-size half-ton pickups, it's got the most towing, the best payload, and the highest gas mileage, plus no body rust. And guess what? This is the safest F-150 ever built. The only pickup to pull the government's 5-star safety rating and earn an IIHS top safety pick. This is the F-150, and Ford F-Series is the undisputed truck leader for 39 straight years.
Play it again. Play it again. Kill him. Kill him. Play it again. Go ahead. Go ahead. Play it again. Go ahead now.
No matter how you use your data, Verizon's got your back. Introducing the new Verizon plan. Now get 30% more data, no surprise overages, and keep the data you don't use. All on America's best network. Why settle when you can have everything? Switch to Verizon now.
Come here and visit my world. It has trees, shining stars. Our love is the only way. Don't get lost 'cause I'm waiting. Summer feelings are waiting, boy. You and me, it's more than 100 miles. Dance with me one more time.
Tonight's telecast is presented by MasterCard and sponsored by Pepsi. Tell the world how you feel. Find your Pepsi emoji today. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Play Ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. Learn more. Go to playball.org. John Lester from the Cubs, who had a brilliant month, is in to pitch. Mark Trumbo, his first at bat, and Trumbo's leading the world in home runs. What a steal for the Orioles to get Trumbo as he takes a strike from John Lester.
I know some Cub fans may be a little concerned about Lester and Arrieta before the break. Don't be. This break comes at a good time. A couple hiccups their starters had down the stretch. Still a nice lead. But this can actually help reset your focus. Arrieta doesn't look like to pitch in this game, but John Lester, a warrior. He has been awesome. And you see that month in June that he had as the Cubs looking to get to a place they haven't been in a while.
No World Series since 1945. They are so sick of hearing that. Here's a hot shot to short. Seager going to show off his arm, and it's too late. And Trumbo got down the line really well for a guy leading the big leagues in home runs.
See that skip right off the end of the grass? That skip right there, getting a little cooler. That ball absolutely took off when it hit the dirt, and you could see where it hit him high up on the glove. Watch again the spin and then the hustle by Trumbo.
Trumbo's got 28 home runs. As a rookie, he led the Angels in home runs and RBIs in 2011, was number 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting. And all he's done is hit. He's with his 4th team over the last 4 years. Orioles got him for catcher Steve Clevenger from Seattle. What a pickup for a first-place club. And speaking of Seattle, here is their terrific second baseman, Robinson Cano.
Cano just having an unbelievable year, playing through some pain before. And what an eerie situation. Ned Yost, the manager, John Lester on the mound 3 years ago for the Oakland Athletics. What became where everybody seemed to run in the big rally. I don't think Trumbo's going to run. Lester's been better at holding runners, but nonetheless, still a guy that you can run on if the right guy gets on.
That skips in there. So the error doesn't help Lester. Now he falls behind Cano, 2 balls and a strike. When you talk about the Cubs and you see John Lester in the middle of this, the Cubs were 39-15 in early June. We're on a pace to win 117 games. They've gone 14-20 since. Just to put numbers on what you're talking about, John. Here's a 2-1. 3-1.
Well, the All-Star, again, is all about timing, right? And I've seen guys have tremendous performances and some not so good. But it doesn't become a precursor for the second half. You understand what this game means. You want to represent your league and your team to the best of your ability. But it is an isolated moment. And you try to build on your first half and carry it over to your second half. 24 years ago in this city, in the All-Star game, Tom Glavine had a rough first inning. And all he did was go on to win the Cy Young that year. Everyone was worried about would that be carryover. As you see some of the numbers from Strasburg, 12-0. Good luck duplicating that in the second half.
Story in the NL. There's some Cubs for you. Dexter and Ben saw Chicago's record at the break. Their best in 77. Best record in baseball for the Giants. Another even year, but they are just well put together. Now a walk. An error, a walk. And it's 2 on with nobody out here in the 7th inning. The AL could blow it open right here. Before the start of tonight's game, MasterCard provided a priceless experience for 22 young fans here in San Diego. With the MasterCard MLB All-Star Youth Ambassador Program, these kids joined their heroes on the field for a priceless moment. And tonight, Fox will donate $10,000 to Stand Up to Cancer for every home run hit in tonight's game. Up to $50,000. We're up to 30 now. There have been 3 hit. One by Bryant, one by Hosmer, one by Perez. Batter is Ian Desmond. What a year he's having. Here's Arenado. That's how good he is. Gets the middleman at second, 1 away.
Wow, what a play. That is not easy. Got to guess where that short hop's going to be, and he still keeps the double play in order. This high chopper. Watch him come in and just old hat. Well, you want to talk about another great story. How about Ian Desmond? Learning a new position, going to the outfield, and making the All-Star team for the first place Rangers.
And a guy who didn't sign until February 29th. A 1-year, $8 million deal. He had rejected a big deal in Washington. Here's Donaldson. That's foul. 5-year, $89.5 million extension from the Nationals following the 2013 season. And then he said no to their $15.8 million qualifying offer. And he may win on this gamble. He's having that good of a year on a 1-year deal in Texas. Here's Donaldson taking a ball.
Everybody in the clubhouse loves this guy when he was with the Nationals, and just the work he's put into his body to change the composition of now an outfielder, much different than an infielder, bigger, stronger, and learning the position and not even acting like it was new.
Here's a 1-1. Donaldson, the MVP in the AL, fouls it right side. Strike 2. You know the story by now? Maybe you don't. He was originally drafted into the Cubs organization. He was a catcher. He moved to third base, starred with the Athletics. Oakland traded him. Blue Jays are glad they did, and they got last year's MVP out of it. He is a fun-loving player. This is launched into the air. Trumbo tags at third. Here's Duvall making the catch. No advance except for good base running by Desmond as he tags and goes to second, 2 out.
Well, it was good base running, but the throw wasn't even low enough to think about being able to cut it off.
Looks like that's going to be it for Lester. with Encarnacion coming up the DH. Terry Collins going to go to his bullpen. It's a 2-run game here in the 7th in San Diego.
Take on any road with intuitive all-wheel drive. The Nissan Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. Now get 0% APR for up to 72 months plus $500 bonus cash.
Hey, I'm Paul, and I used to ask if you could hear me now with Verizon. Not anymore. I'm with Sprint now, because guess what? It's 2016 and every network is great. In fact, Sprint's reliability is now within 1% of Verizon. And Sprint saves you 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates. So I switched to Sprint, and millions more have too. Can you hear that?
Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much. Switch to Sprint today.
Gary, I am proud of you, my man. Making simple, smart cashback choices. With Quicksilver from Capital One, you're earning unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. Like on that new laptop. Quicksilver keeps things simple, Gary. And smart, like you. And I like that.
I guess I am pretty smart.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary. What's in your wallet?
Steak used to cost an arm and a leg. But now you can get new tender braised steak and melted cheese wrapped in a warm flatbread for just $1.49. Taco Bell steak flatbread sandwich. Eat it for them.
Red Bull gives you wings. But that's not really a secret anymore.
Saturday, it's an MLB doubleheader on FS1.
Incredible!
First, it's one of baseball's oldest rivalries. The next chapter will be written with Big Papi and the Red Sox
To the wall, goodbye!
battle Carlos Beltran and the Yankees.
What a catch!
Then Miguel Cabrera.
That ball was torched.
Looks to slug the Tigers past Eric Hosmer and a dangerous Royals lineup. Don't miss the action beginning Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
Sunday on Fox, Diego Valeri and the Timbers clash with U.S. national team hero Clint Dempsey and the Sounders in a no-holds-barred battle. Portland, Seattle, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, and it's only on Fox.
What's up, guy? How are you doing, Sammy? Good. You gotta hit the first good pitch.
Amazon StatCast, you saw it. First run of the night off the bat of Chris Bryant. That came in the first inning with 2 out, nobody on, and the kid went deep. And now it's Mark Melancon has just blossomed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. What a year he had last year. 51 saves, a Pirate record. He has the most saves in baseball since 2014, 111. And the lowest ERA of any pitcher in baseball since 2013. Second and third, 2 out. Encarnacion takes ball 1.
And what he does is, besides throw the ball in, he'll throw what's called a front door cutter into a right-hander. And if he gets a chance to put him away with 2 strikes, that right-handed batter thinks the ball's staying in and then cuts back over the plate and catches the corner.
Here's a 1-0. Good play by Jonathan Lucroy of the Brewers, who is taken over behind the plate. Encarnacion knows what to do in these spots. His eyes light up. He leads baseball with 80 RBIs.
Well, if you're Mark Melancon, you don't want to see the parrot. And the parrot usually means when he hits a home run, he's got that parrot on his shoulder, holding him around the bases.
Yeah, that's Encarnacion you're talking about.
Yeah.
Walks his parrot around. Here's a 2-0. That's a strike. Seems like Melancon kind of hides the ball a little bit. Tough to pick up.
Yeah, he doesn't throw anything straight. He cuts the ball a lot. He's got a good breaking ball, good overhand curveball along with his slider. think they throw an inside slider right here, maybe.
Base open with the switch hitting Lindor on deck.
Just overthrew that one, almost backed up.
Here is a 3-1 pitch from Melanson to Encarnacion. He checked his swing and the bases are loaded.
Well, as you see, the checking Curran Danley, he knows about Tony Gwynn as he's made the call on this check swing. He was a teammate of Tony Gwynn's in college, an All-American in college. So he knows how special this must be in the home and the city of Tony Gwynn to carry an All-Star game.
Yeah, that's nice. Kerwin Danley, the first base umpire, with that thrill on this perfect night in San Diego. Well, here's Lindor, who popped out his first time. 22-year-old waits and grounds one toward the middle. Murphy. What a play! To end the inning, Daniel Murphy says, I can hit home runs still. And who says I can't play defense at second? Wow. He went a mile. And the American League leaves the bases loaded. They've stranded 7. The National League's still in it. Down 2 back after this in a game presented by MasterCard.
At the beginning of the 21st century, the Earth needed to find a new way to keep up with the data from over 30 billion connected devices.
Just 30 billion.
So, a bold group of researchers and computer scientists in Silicon Valley had a breakthrough they called
The machine.
The machine. It changed the basic architecture of computing, putting a massive pool of memory at the center of everything. And by doing so, it changed the world. It's been a part of every new technology for the last 250 years.
Everything?
Everything.
This year, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise will preview The Machine, and the future of technology will begin.
See Star Trek Beyond in theaters July 22nd.
It's here, but it's going by fast. The opportunity of the year is back. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. Get to your dealer today for incredible once-a-season offers and start firing up those grills. Lease the C300 for $379 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I've been blind since birth. I go through periods where it's hard to sleep at night and stay awake during the day.
Learn about Non-24 by calling 844-844-2424 or visit my24info.com.
One swing can be the ultimate game changer.
Jones with a high drive to left field.
And at T-Mobile, we know how to change the game for good. We've doubled our LTE coverage, and our extended range LTE is 4 times stronger in buildings than before. But we didn't stop there. With T-Mobile, you can stream baseball free without using your data on MLB TV. T-Mobile, that's Major League coverage.
All you need is a building, a safe place. Nothing too fancy, just a place to be with people that care. It's what helped me get to where I am today. Because when you have someone that believes in you, that's when you have the chance to go places you never thought you could.
Major League Baseball is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Great futures start here.
Geico in-game box score through the first 4 innings. The starters put this together. The big blows by Hosmer and Salvador Perez. Home runs. Hosmer, a 2-hit game. Right now, I think would be leading in the MVP voting. Homered, an RBI single. He's driven home 2 of the 4 American League runs. And Andrew Miller of the Yankees, who a lot of teams are lusting after, takes over here in the 8th inning up by 2.
Oh, I said the All-Star Game's timing's everything, right? Belt's timing, not so good. Facing this guy who can absolutely bring it. The devastating slider, like Randy Johnson, not as violent, but he has a long arm swing that just does not allow the hitter to pick up that spin.
Michael Saunders takes over in the right field position. That's a strike, and he has Belt flinching. Saunders from the Blue Jays, and that's just a nasty pitch.
Yeah, it's just not fair, but Belt's going to hang in there with 2 strikes and try to battle.
Here's a 2-2. Well, any way to get on. National League needs 1 base runner here in the 8th inning to bring up the tying run.
This would be the hard part for me if I'm Belt. I'm selling out for a fastball, and if he throws me a slider, I tip my hat.
As you head back to the dugout. Oh, here's a pop-up. Brandon Belt is putting together his best power season. Flies to Trumbo. 1 out. Our play of the game brought to you by Suicide Squad from Warner Brothers Pictures. Released on August 5th worldwide. After he fouled one off his leg, Salvador Perez goes deep. A 2-run shot in that 3-run second for the American League.
He doesn't have fun playing, does he?
Man, and he's just, he talked about the durability for a guy who leads the big leagues in innings caught. Over 4,100 innings caught since 2013, leading by a mile. And, you know, we talk about it every postseason, or at least the last couple. Foul tips, and foul tips that are hit at him, and foul tips he hits off himself. He just seems to take a beating, but man, he's tough. And that includes the postseason, so there's an even bigger number for you with all the postseason games the Royals have been in the last couple of years. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lucroy. His first at bat, strike 2.
Well, I don't know what the Brewers are going to do, but this could be a valuable chip. If you think about the second half, everybody could use pitching, but there's a lot of teams that could use a quality catcher with an offensive talent that he has. So the Brewers have been competitive. Don't know if they'll be in the market to throwing him out there.
Well, he's 30. He signed at a good number through another year. Ragin' Cajun from the University of Louisiana Lafayette, and he joins our friend Ted Simmons as the only Brewers catcher to go to multiple All-Star games. That's inside as Wieters can't hang on, and the count 2-2.
Here comes a slider. It's probably going to start on the outside and break back late.
Here's a fly ball down the left field line, but foul. Hard hit by Lucroy.
Lucroy was ready for it. If you're a pitcher in this situation and you just threw one right there, the tendency is to throw a better one. Get it down in the dirt. Maybe he swings over the top, but you want to improve on one that wasn't breaking the way you would like. You see, he left it out just a little bit too high, and Lucroy just too far out front.
That is into left field, and a seed off the bat of Lucroy. 1-on, 1 out.
Like I said, that's a catcher that can hit. And certainly he was able to stay in there on 2 consecutive sliders. And this one stayed in the ballpark, but was hit awfully firm.
It'll bring up Jay Bruce. It also brings Starling Marte into the on-deck circle, as Terry Collins is down to only Aledmus Diaz among his position players not to appear. And he told us before the game Diaz will get into this ball game before the end of it. First pitch outside, ball 1 to Bruce, who's 0 for 1. Terry Collins, the first manager to tell Fox before a game that he feels it's important to get every team's uniform in the ball game.
At least one of them if they have multiple players.
2-1.
You got Tehran in, Herrera with the Phillies.
And that's why I say that about Diaz would be the only Cardinal. Matt Carpenter right there in the front of the picture is on the DL with a strained oblique. Count now 2-2 on Jay Bruce. Good baseball man is Terry Collins.
He sure is, and he's been through a lot.
Struck him out. Bruce out number 2 here in the 8th.
Well, again, that slider, the first one he threw at his hip and got a called strike on it, and then that one he just extended the plate and made him reach. A good matchup here, though, for Marte. One of the talented outfielders for the Pittsburgh Pirates, probably the most talented outfield for what they can do defensively and offensively.
You got McCutchen and you've got Polanco to go with Marte. And Starling steps in, hitting .316, 8th best average in the National League. And he serves a base hit into right. 2 on with 2 out. Tying runs are aboard here in the 8th inning. With the young Adam Duvall, former San Francisco Giant, now the power-hitting outfielder for the Reds, coming up.
There's just certain guys whose swings are more tailored for certain styles, and Marte, a quick bat, as you saw, jump on the first pitch and didn't try to pull it, which was the key against Miller. And now this man would love to see that Western Metal Supply Company, if you're the National League, that building that stands in left field.
There's a strike. A young power hitter in a good ballpark to hit home runs in Cincinnati. Seager on deck, but it's all on Duvall and Miller right now. That's down for ball 1. Adam Duvall, converted infielder, compact power stroke. Went to Cincinnati in the Mike Leake deal last year at the deadline, and just so you know, 26 of his 31 career home runs have come off right-handed pitching as he deals with this lefty Andrew Miller.
And he definitely likes to pull, and he's looking for something middle in.
That breaking ball is just high. The count's 3-1. Now Ledmus Diaz has come into the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Seager if the inning gets there. Strike 2, and the count's full. The runners will go.
Well, that's how much confidence he has in that pitch. 3-1 count. It looks like a ball to the hitter. It starts outside and then it catches the outside part of the plate.
Good speed on. Lucroy can run. He's at second. Marte can fly. He's at first. They'll go. We'll do it again. What's on the line? Well, home field advantage in the upcoming World Series. The American League has won 10 of the 13 that have quote-unquote counted. You can like it or not like it, but that's what's on the line here tonight, as it's been the previous 13 games. Big spot here. 3-2.
Well, the problem now is he's seeing more and more of those sliders, so he's starting to track them a little bit more. For Miller, you either got to really get aggressive with the slider down on his back foot, or you surprise him with that fastball. At some point, the more he sees those breaking balls, it's a little more advantage to the hitter on a neutral count. 3-2.
Right-hander Will Harris is getting loose. Here it is, and Duvall pops it up, back, and out of play.
He just missed that one right there. Boy, you'd like to have that over. You see this slider. See how it comes out of his hand? Little flat, trying to get it in, trying to get it down.
Runners have been busy. They've been on the move the last few pitches. They'll go again. That's outside to load him up. And whether it's the rookie Corey Seager or the rookie Ledmus Diaz, one of the most unlikely stories in the first half of the season. It'll be a rookie at the plate for the National League, and it will not be Andrew Miller on the mound for the American League. Will Harris of the Astros is getting loose, and here he comes. Diaz will be the hitter. What a moment for this young man from Cuba. Coming up.
And it feels so good. Oh, yeah. And it feels so good.
Ram trucks are built to work, to play, tow, and haul. They're built to get the job done and go the distance. Ram trucks are built to be America's longest-lasting pickups.
Get 0% APR for 60 months or $82.50 in total values on select 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab models in dealer stock.
One swing can be the ultimate game changer.
Jones with a high drive to left field.
And at T-Mobile, we know how to change the game for good. We've doubled our LTE coverage, and our extended range LTE is 4 times stronger in buildings than before. But we didn't stop there. With T-Mobile, you can stream baseball free without using your data on MLB TV. T-Mobile, that's Major League coverage.
Taco Bell's $5 cravings deal. With a cheesy gordita crunch, burrito supreme, nachos, taco, and a Baja Blast. All the cravings one person can handle. Just $5. Only at Taco Bell.
The heavyweight championship of the world is on Fox. Deontay Wilder is the heavyweight world champ. Chris Arreola plans to be his worst nightmare. Get ready for the fireworks. These are dangerous men.
Wilder versus Arreola. Vasquez Jr. versus Diaz. Saturday at 8, only on Fox.
Two fighters with one punch knockout power. Michael McDonald battles John Lineker. UFC Fight Night, Wednesday at 6 Eastern on FS1.
Well, the only Grand Slam in All-Star Game history, it belongs to Fred Lynn. He hit it off Adley Hammaker at Comiskey Park in a blowout win for the American League. That's it. Bases loaded here. Aledmus Diaz. Ball one, down and away. A base hit likely ties the ball game. 4-2 AL, 8th inning.
Will Harris, that's a signature pitch right there. So he started him off with a breaking ball, and he has become the closer for the red-hot Astros.
The 1-0. Diaz didn't like that call, and the count 1-1 strike for a young man who has added his name to a list of good rookie shortstops. You see why he didn't like that call.
That's a game changer. 2-0 count to 1-1 on a cutter away.
Tap foul. Diaz was taken off the roster by St. Louis, designated for assignment. So in the midst of a 4-year, $8 million deal signed from Cuba, grew up a few doors down from Jose Fernandez, who we saw earlier in Santa Clara, the provincial capital of Villa Clara in Cuba. It took 2 injuries to get him on the roster to start the season. He hit over 400 in April. He's been unbelievable. He checks his swing on a pitch down in the count 2-2.
That is a power curveball. The hands of a clock, we call it a 12-6, and that was as firm as you can be without getting the barrel across the plate. Tremendous ability to hold up right there in a 2-2 count.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 2-2 pitch.
Well, he showed him his bread and butter on the first pitch. It's 3-2. Will he go to that pitch? I'm going to say he's definitely going to go to the breaking ball. Even if he misses, it's still a 1-run lead. I think that's his signature pitch. Why not go with it on a 3-2 count?
Harris is set. 3-2 pitch. Got him looking, and the inning is over.
Wow. What a pitch.
At 93 miles per hour, and the National League now has stranded 10. Paints the outside corner, and the lead remains 2. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
What's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad to do something that'll get you killed.
It's so intense.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
You want to see something? Y'all want to see something?
That's gangster.
Suicide Squad. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX 3D.
Mr. Ingles, he's not studying over here. He's streaming my games.
You can't get away with that.
Woo!
Oh, don't worry about it. They can't hear me. I'm just in your head.
No matter how you use your data, Verizon's got your back. Introducing the new Verizon plan. Now get 30% more data, no surprise overages, and keep the data you don't use. All on America's best network. Why settle when you can have everything? Switch to Verizon now.
You say crazy, I say crafted. You say savage, I say practiced. Crazy, crafted, savage, practiced. Let's run that whole thing back. You say unbelievable, I say achievable. You say incredible, I say inevitable. Unbelievable, achievable, incredible, inevitable. Let's run that whole thing back. Carbs to compete, electrolytes to replenish.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety pick, mid-size car, and SUV.
Most dependable means a lot to me.
The green car, because I like fuel efficiency.
What if there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. It's fierce.
How would you sum this car up in one word?
Incredible. Amazing. I can't use one word.
This is the Dell Inspiron 2-in-1. It has 4 versatile modes and a 6th-gen Intel Core processor for getting more done. Like rocking marine biology term papers or making the baddest beats on campus. Inspired by you, multitasking double major. We love your work.
Telecast presented by MasterCard and sponsored by Dell. By Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 2 years in a row. And by Suicide Squad, brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures, released on August 5th worldwide. We need them bad. 2016 MLB All-Star Game on Fox is presented by MasterCard. Well, the National League now has stranded 10, the AL 7. And Fernando Rodney, who started the year here in San Diego, traded to the Marlins to now set up for a good young club, comes in to try and keep it a 2-run game, deals with Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, welcome Miguel Cabrera.
With that hat as sideways as it's ever been for Fernando Rodney, Miguel Cabrera.
My favorite guy to watch. I didn't like pitching against him, but favorite guy to watch hit in the big leagues.
Still the best?
It is. And I don't think it's even an argument because he can do everything. Power to all parts. Professional hitter from the very beginning when you talk about what he can do, and just so comfortable in the box.
He's fooled there. Comes up empty. 2 balls and a strike. Marte stays in the game. He's in center. Aledmus Diaz is now at short. And Rodney, as you know, takes over on the mound.
Rodney, unbelievable changeup fastball combination.
2-2. The bench is now empty position player wise for Terry Collins. Ben Zobrist, who can play everywhere, has been designated to return in the game if he needs to. You can also bring a catcher back if there's an injury these days in the All-Star game. Here's a 2-2. Got him looking for out number 1.
Well, another paint situation. That's the only way you can do is absolutely throw the combination of fastball, changeup, and stay out of nitro zone.
Doing that to the 4-time batting champ, the Triple Crown winner back in 2012, 2-time MVP. And he gets Cabrera looking. Now Michael Saunders. It's a great story. Hurt last year, played only 9 games in Toronto. Was on the trading block, but really wanted to stay with the Blue Jays. Played for Team Canada, the 2008 Beijing Summer Games. Born in Victoria, British Columbia, and the 4th Canadian-born player playing for a Canadian team in an all-star game. But he pops it up. If somebody can find it in that sky, it's out number 2, and it's Arenado. Let's go back to that at-bat that ended the top of this 8th with Diaz.
Yeah, what an at-bat. You look at the first pitch, that breaking ball, and then this is the pitch right here. That kind of throws him for a loop, does Diaz, and then just great pitching after this. He gets a ball. That's the power one he checked the swing on, and then he misses high and comes right back with paint on the corner. Unbelievable.
Fernando Rodney is going to exit. Saluted by the fans here in San Diego. Pitching change with 2 out, nobody on. As the big right-hander, Kenley Jansen, comes in from the Dodgers.
This. What's better than this? This. What? Check it out. This. It doesn't get any better than this. I stand corrected. This is the 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Not just new, better.
The Bud Light Party believes in change. That's why Bud Light has a new look. And we want to share it with everyone. Jackpot! Still the same refreshing Bud Light with a new look.
Some said Wendy's 4 for $4 was the biggest thing since.
And now for tonight's biggest news.
The 4 for $4 now comes with your choice of a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger or the new Crispy Chicken BLT. It's the biggest thing until...
It's time for some straight talk. If you've ever been lured in by a low-price wireless plan, then there's not enough high-speed data, or your bill is packed with overages and mystery fees, stop falling for it. With Straight Talk's Unlimited plan, you get America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks. No contract, no tricks. And 5 gigs of high-speed data for just $45 a month. It's time to ask yourself, why haven't I switched? Get a Samsung Galaxy S7 or bring your own phone. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Let's feed him to the sharks.
Let's feed him to the sharks.
And take all of his gold.
And take all of his gold. And hide it from the crew. They're all morons anyway.
Never said that.
They all smell bad, too.
No, you all smell wonderful. I smell bad.
If you're a parrot, you repeat things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
It's what you do.
Welcome back to the All-Star Game StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. That tremendous play. It kept this a 2-run game by Daniel Murphy on the ball hit by Lindor in the 7th. With the bases loaded, that's as good a defensive play as we've seen all night, considering the circumstances. And now with 2 out, nobody on, Kenley Jansen takes over with Matt Wieters, switch hitting catcher, about to dig in.
Cutter, and cutter. That's what Kenley Jansen features, and it's pretty tough to hit.
Most saves for the Dodgers in team history, 169. Free agent to be, and this guy is a very good athlete. You know, the great Mariano Rivera did it with cutter after cutter after cutter. That's what Jansen does. But he was the starting catcher for the Netherlands team that upset the Dominican Republic team in the World Baseball Classic in 2009. Now closing for the Dodgers, trying to get the final out of the 8th. And Wieters will foul it down the left side. And with home field advantage on the line, realize that 6 of the last 7 World Series champions had home field advantage.
That's a luxury to have, and certainly that man right there is hoping to benefit 2 years in a row if his team can get back.
0-2. Wieters strikes out on a pitch chin high, and the inning is over. Sends us into the 9th. The plan has been for Zach Britton to close it. He's got a 2-run lead to protect here in San Diego.
Bud Light Party here to discuss equal pay.
Women don't get paid as much as men, and that is wrong.
And we have to pay more for the same stuff.
What?
Yeah, cars.
What?
Dry cleaning.
What?
Shampoo.
What? You pay more but get paid less? That is double wrong. I'm calling everyone I know, and I'm telling them about this. This has got to stop.
Bud Light proudly supports equal pay. That's why Bud Light costs the same no matter if you're a dude or a lady.
Yeah, Mom, you have to pay more for a car than Dad. No one treats my mom like this.
Sorry, I'm not lost. I'm leaving in my thoughts.
I take Paliseco TC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because you can't beat zero heartburn. Ah, the sweet taste of victory.
Paliseco TC. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
Viagra single packs. So guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
These new Fruit of the Loom breathable underwear are perfect.
They need a name just as perfect.
Cool's Gold.
The Pants Snorkel.
Briefs.
House of Mesh Representatives.
Shiver Me Trousers.
Pantarctica.
Fruit of the Luge.
Thank you, Marvin.
Breathable underwear?
Mr. Meshy goes to Windington.
Breezy Fosheezy.
You're a genius. We'll call it Breezy.
No. We're gonna call it New Breathable Underwear by Fruit of the Loom.
Let's go.
I think it's time I got my turn. Gonna roam wherever I roam. They wonder how I ever got this style. I said that's just how I roll. I'm gonna go my way.
The new 2017 Ford Fusion is here. It's the beauty of a well-made choice.
It's gonna be a big wide blue sky, sunshine, happy day.
All I need is 5 minutes. All I need is 5 minutes.
Well, tonight's MVP will have to make a hard choice between 2 award-winning Chevys, the 2016 Motor Trend Car of the Year, Camaro, and the 2016 Truck of the Year, Colorado. Which one will they pick? Make your prediction at ChevyBaseball.com. Here we go, 9th inning, 2-run game. Daniel Murphy takes a strike from Zach Britton, with Eduardo Nunez taking over at second base.
Well, if you've ever heard the term bowling ball sinker, that's what this guy has. 96, bottom drops out, hard to hit. And the only thing you hope as a hitter is he runs into control problems and gets a little bit more in the center of the plate. Otherwise, you're in for a rough time trying to square up one of his pitches.
Murphy, the former Met, the current Washington National, takes down ball one. We talked about Terry Collins trying to get someone from every team in the game. Ironically, no Mets yet. But Noah Syndergaard injured, not available. Yoenis Cespedes injured, not available. And he is saving Juris Familia, his closer, to close this game if he gets a chance. The 1-2. A foul tip. Bartolo Colon, meanwhile, is the long guy, kind of the ace in the hole for Terry Collins in case this game were to go deep into extra innings. There are the changes with Nunez at second and Britton on the mound. Last Oriole to save an All-Star game was Don Ossie in 1986. Britton trying to do that. The last time the National League was down by 2 in the 9th inning, come back to win, was our trivia question. July 12th of 1994. Down 7-5 in the 9th, won 8-7 in the 10th on that hit by Moises Alou. 2-2. That scored the great Tony Gwynn.
Well, I'm biased, but I think it's the greatest all-star game of any sport. It's played the closest to the regular season style, and well over half of the games have been 2 runs or less when you go all the way back in the tightness of how these games are played.
Good at bat by Murphy, a tradition that started in 1933 as part of the World's Fair in Chicago. That was the first one at Comiskey Park. And here we are in San Diego, California for the 87th All-Star game. Well played, fun game. Babe Ruth, by the way, hit the first home run at All-Star game play. Here is a little served base hit into center. And there is life for the National League here in the 9th as Daniel Murphy has been on base 3 times.
That's just an unbelievable at bat. Fighting off sinker, trying to barrel up something. He gives himself up and puts the ball in play and gets rewarded, and now gives the National League a chance to tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. And what better guy to be at the plate than first baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The numbers the last 3 years for Britton as Goldschmidt stands in, certainly a power threat, are incredible. Britton a 1.55 ERA the last 3 years. Perfect and save chances in 2016, strike 1.
For Goldschmidt, you never teach this batting stance at home. You see the bat almost pointing down at the ground, but his ability to get his hands ready to hit, second to none. And talking to Britton, so what's the secret to your sinker? You'd never believe the answer. He said, I have small hands and fingers that just lead me to throw the baseball with tremendous movement.
Good pitch. Goldschmidt comes up empty, and it's 1-2.
I mean, just look. We're seeing this in slow motion. You have no idea at 96 what a hitter thinks that pitch is doing.
Just got a piece. 97 from Britton. Talk about the first place Orioles. They come into the break with a 2-game lead over Boston and Toronto, and up close as Goldschmidt just ticked it. Pride of the Diamondbacks waits in a 1-2. Back to Britton. To second. Took forever to get rid of it, and Goldschmidt is safe. No double play. So Goldschmidt is on, 1 out. And we'll experience 360-degree replay from Intel. And that last pitch, a great look at the pitch that got Diaz, ending the top of the 8th with the bases loaded in a 2-run game. And here's the typical look.
That much you can do for Diaz. He absolutely painted
Now the batter is Arenado. And Nolan, who's already flashed the leather in this game, stands in there with his 70 RBIs, tied for second with 23 home runs. Third at bat. Left side. Donaldson. They get one. They got them both. And this game is over. Saved by Britain in the American League yet again. We'll have home field advantage in the upcoming World Series. For the 11th time in the 14 games since this game has determined home field advantage, it's the AL winning tonight a final of 4-2. And Arenado didn't run.
He had to be confused on the outs. He had to think once they threw it to second base, that was it, and didn't realize there was only one out. Don't know if it would have mattered. Nonetheless, not what you want running down the bases.
So the 4-2 final in a 3-hour, 5-minute game. And in this game, home runs by Hosmer, Salvador Perez for the American League, the big blows. And Ned Yost is 2-0 in All-Star Game managing history.
Last minute to be friends, and then they go to competing against each other.
So he's able to enjoy this experience in San Diego all the way around. And Ned Yost came into this game with a plan to win it.